welcome to the Progress Not Panic series. We're here with Thalia Amador from the SBA. Welcome to the Progress Not Panic series, Thalia.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm happy to participate in this, see how we can help our small businesses.
Great, and we're happy to have you, so thank you for being here. And I know you got a lot of great information to share with us today. So what we're going to talk about is the PPP, otherwise known as the Payroll Protection Plan. And can you give us some guidance on where would someone apply?
Oh, absolutely. So it's actually the Paycheck Protection Program. And to apply for that program, you want to go to your bank. You have to apply through a financial institution. We always recommend that you start with the bank that holds your small business account. However, we are aware that some banks are no longer taking applications. If that is the case, we do have an awesome tool on our website that can help you find a bank close to you so that you can apply. And that tool is called the Lender Match. It's available directly on our website.
Okay, Lender Match. Okay, so
Lender Match.
Lender Match, great. So they wouldn't necessarily need to call you guys. They could find that tool online there.
That is correct. All of the information for PPP is also available directly on our website. So SBA.gov has all of the pertaining information, applications, as well as the Lender Match tool. It's always to have the most up-to-date information. So, changes or questions that you may have, our website is always going to be the go-to place for the information that you want to know for any SBA programs, really.
Okay.
But yeah.
Very good. And so we know the deadlines for PPP have, there have been certain deadlines and cutoffs and stuff. What's the current deadline as of, today, the beginning of August?
Yeah. So as of today, the last day to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program is August 8th. So you have until August 8th at 11:59 p.m. That's when the portal will close. And again, you have to apply through a financial institution, your bank.
So August 8th, is that a Saturday?
That is a Saturday. That is correct.
Okay. And we're all working weekends anyway now, so hopefully the banks are too. So that's great. So they have till August 8th to apply. That's the deadline. And you mentioned that if the banks that they currently bank at are not taking applications, which is always good, you said, for the client, the customer, to go to their home bank. But if they're not, they can use this tool to find another lender. So that's good to know. Now I get a lot of questions with a lot of clients I talk to, wondering, they're like, well, I don't have any employees and I'm not an employee either. But I have, can I qualify as if I'm not on payroll and I don't have any employees?
So the answer is yes. The way that they are calculating your loan amount for the program is based on your taxes. So as a working business owner, your compensation or salary or wages, however you feel comfortable talking about it, it's covered. Is going to be based on your 2018 taxes. So if you are a self-employed or solopreneur, it's only you and you are a working owner, whatever you reported on your 2019 taxes, 931, which is your net profit, that's what they're going to use as the base to calculate your PPP loan amount. So they're going to divide that amount by 12 and multiply it by 2.5. And that's what's going to determine what is the maximum loan amount that you can qualify for. It gets tricky because for those businesses that their net profit, they report a loss
Hmm.
that automatically will disqualify them from applying for this program.
Yeah, and we know a lot of small businesses, they use a lot of the tax deductions to try to minimize their tax burden. So, which is good from their paying tax perspective. But in this case here,
In this case, yeah, in this case, it would not be optimal, and it will automatically disqualify them from applying in the program.
okay, makes sense. Now as you've seen, and I have a lot of businesses who, they first of all, they say, well, I have employees, but I pay them as contractors. And, obviously they're not employees, they're contractors.
That is not an employee, correct? Under IRS regulations, a 1099 compensation type, it's not considered an employee, the contractor. Therefore, you cannot use their compensation to qualify for or ask for PPP.
Mm-hmm.
They can apply on their own, however, for PPP.
Okay, so those contractors can apply because they're their own business, so they could apply for the PPP, but the
They can apply. Yep.
company
They
hired,
can apply for them.
yeah, can't. So they have to have actually on the book employees, W-2s, in order for them to count as a payroll under the PPP.
Yes, that is correct. They're going to ask for that payroll type of compensation, and your quarterly, statements is what they're using for that verification of employment.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Now, so a lot of clients are weary about, the process is going to be too much of a challenge and stuff. What type of documentation, what type of things would clients need to, small businesses need to have to apply for the PPP?
So SBA has streamlined a lot of it, but again, you have to remember that this application is being done through your local bank, right, or your bank. So for SBA purposes, the only requirement is your 2019 taxes, right? Whether it's on a Schedule C or on a Schedule K1 at 1022, whatever the schedule is that qualifies for your particular business, that's the requirement from or on behalf of the SBA. However, your bank may have other requirements, ID or your EIN or other things, but those are going to vary from one bank to another. So there could be additional documentation that your particular bank is requesting, and because it is a bank loan, and they have the authority to make those decisions, they also have the authority to ask for additional documentation. So there may be a little bit of variation in the documentation. So, but from our standpoint, the application, the SBA application, and the 2019 taxes would be our direct requirement.
Okay, well, that's great, Thalia. So now, another question I get on the PPP from my clients is credit score. How much is their credit worthiness count for the approval of the PPP?
So in this case, credit is not a basis for the PPP loan, which is, a once in a lifetime opportunity because credit is not required actually for this program.
That's great. Yeah, that's a question I get a lot, and that's good to know that that's one thing that they're not going to look at right now, because a lot of small businesses credits is being stressed right now because they're having to pull money from all kinds of places to make payroll flow and so forth. So another question I get a lot is, how long does the PPP process take? Application to them saying yes, typically.
It may vary from one bank to another, but usually within 10 to 15 days for sure you should have some kind of response. For us, the response is pretty immediate. Once the bank submits their application to our system, our response is immediate. So it, like I said, it's going to be more dependent of your bank process.
Okay. Yeah, the bank
But
process. And
it's going to be, in general, within 10 days is a pretty good general number.
okay. And I think you might have mentioned as far as documentation, what the clients could do is maybe have some of those things ready ahead of time, right? Maybe having P&Ls and taxes and payroll reports ready ahead of time. That'd be good.
Correct. Correct. And those are, like I said, they could vary from one bank to another. So they want to contact their financial institution and ask what are the requirements so they can have them ready.
Okay. Very good. Great. What other things related to the PPP and knowing that we pretty much have what, five days for before this PPP thing closes out? Any other things that a small business should be thinking about that hasn't yet taken advantage of this, other than trying to take advantage of it?
Well, first of all, you want to make sure if you haven't applied to at least consider the program before it closes. We know that there could be some changes, but we don't know what those are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't looked at it, if you have questions, we're always open, to our phones are always open to answer any questions that you may have or fears. But definitely if you are wanting to apply, because it may take a few days to put together the documentation, we encourage you to find the financial institution that you're going to apply through and ask what those requirements are going to be so that you can apply as soon as possible. Don't wait till August 8th to talk or to try to find a bank, because those financial institutions tend to shrink as the deadline comes closer. So you do want to make sure you at least have a bank that's going to take your application, figure out, as soon as possible.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So definitely the timing is the essence right now, since, we know it closes out the 8th, and, who knows if it might reopen. We just don't have that information yet, but we know what we do know is got to get on it now there.
Yep.
And I've had a lot, and as you know, you have a lot of clients and customers who have taken advantage of this, as I have, and it's been a lifesaver for many of these small companies we work with.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We've had a lot of success with this program, and we're happy to, be able to give that life support those businesses that, they provide with so much to our local economies, and we want to make sure they continue to be there, right?
That's great. Yeah, and I know, us within the SBDC, we're real appreciative of all you SBA folks in Columbus, trying to help out as many customers as possible. This has been some great information on the PPP. I think this is going to help a lot of small businesses here. So, the forgiveness part we're going to talk about down the road in a future video. But for now, Thalia, how could if we have customers or small businesses out there that see this video, if they wanted to reach out to you, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you and the Columbus SBA folks?
So our main phone number, it's right behind you, the 614-427-0407. That is the best number to contact us.
Okay.
We all take turns and answer the call, so it's always being answered. And for me directly, my email is also a great way to reach out. And it's Thalia.Amador@sba.gov. I know it's a little bit long, but thank you for writing it down.
Yes.
And like I said, we are always here to answer as many questions as we can. Do remember, we are not tax accountants or attorneys, so there may be some limitations to some of the questions that we can answer. But if it's within our realm, we're more than happy to assist with those questions.
That's great. Very good. Very good. So Thalia's information, as she mentioned, is back here on the board. So feel free to reach out to her or the SBA agency downtown. So we want to thank you, Thalia, for being here today, for talking about the PPP loan. And, you know, we encourage small businesses out there to take advantage of it that haven't already. And again, we appreciate your time today, Thalia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, the SBDC, for today's invite.